All right, so in this video, we are going to study about the distinctions between proper and improper fractions. So in this video, we will study about how proper and improper fraction varies from one another, with some examples in front of you will be given to you, and you will have to identify whether the given fractions are proper or improper fractions. So before starting the entering into this topic, I want to ask you one thing. I want to give you a glimpse of a fraction. So what does the fraction mean here? First of all, everyone knows that fraction is nothing. It is in the form of a over b. We used to study it like a by b, or we study it like a over b. This is how we're going to study the fraction, right? And everyone knows that the top of the fraction we used to write, it is called as the numerator here. Top of the fraction is called as numerator, and the bottom of the fraction, it is called as the denominator. If you are very aware about what a numerator and what a denominator of a fraction is, thereafter you can easily predict the nature of the fraction, whether it is proper fraction and whether it is going to be the improper fraction. So let's start with proper fraction. How to identify a fraction to be a proper fraction? Proper fraction is going to be a fraction. Proper fraction is going to be a fraction in which proper fraction is a fraction in which what's going to happen? What's going to happen? In which numerator, I am just writing numerator as NUM, just imagine it to be numerator, is lesser than denominator. Lesser than denominator. Denom is denominator. So what I have seen written over here, the fraction is a over b, and a is called as the numerator and b is called as the denominator. So what does it mean over here? This a is less than b, right? I mean, the top of the fraction, which is numerator, it is a, it is lesser than b, which is bottom of the fraction. For example, if I do right here like 3 over 7, right? Try to understand with the example here. So the top of the fraction is 3, and this is called as numerator, right? And the 7 is at the bottom, it is called as the denominator, right? Try to understand. What about this 3 and 7? This 3 is lesser than 7. So the top of the fraction numerator is less than 7, which is the denominator. That's why this is going to be called as proper fraction. Let's take some more example about proper fraction over here. Just write 8 over 9. So this 8 is numerator and this 9 is denominator, which is at the bottom. So what's going to happen? We will write like 8 is lesser than 9. It means what? This is going to be the category of proper fraction. Let's try some decimals. Let's try some decimals. Like if I do write 0.42, I have told you already that if nothing is written in the denominator, it means it's obvious that it is going to be 1. So we can write 0.42 as 0.42 over 1. So everyone knows that. What about the condition of 0.4? This 0 is the whole number part and this 42 is the decimal part. The whole number part over here is 0 and 1 is already a whole number. So obviously what's going to happen? The thing that happened over here is 0.42 is lesser than 1 and 0.42 is the numerator, and once numerator is getting lesser than the denominator, what's going to happen? This comes the category of proper fraction. So this is the category of proper fraction. Let's take one more example. Like if I do write 18 over 27, so just you have to see the top number, which is the numerator. Here it is 18, and the bottom number, which is the denominator, here it is 27. Try to understand, is this 18, which is at the top, is it lesser than 27? Yes, it is lesser than 27, which is denominator. That's why this is also the case of proper fraction. So I'm very clear about the fact that proper fraction, what does proper fraction gonna mean? You can easily understand the concept, and thereafter, if questions are given to you to identify proper or improper fraction, you can definitely do that. Now it's time to go with the improper fraction, and let's see what does this improper fraction mean. To be honest, see, proper and improper fraction both are opposite to one another. So you can easily tell that fraction which is not proper, fraction which is not proper, this is improper. So that's correct. Nothing is wrong in this. Nothing is wrong in this. But this is not a good way to write the definition. So for improper fraction, how you going to write a fraction just opposite to the definition of proper fraction what we have studied, right? So a fraction in which we will have numerator numerator greater than the denominator. Numerator greater than the denominator. That's it. This is your improper fraction. Let's do it. Do try to understand with some of the examples over here. If I write 9 over 5, right? So here the numerator is 9, okay? And the denominator over here is 5. So what we're going to see here, that this 9 is greater than 5. It means the numerator is greater than the denominator. This comes in the category of improper fraction. This comes in the category of improper fraction. Now try to understand with another concept, another example. Like if I do write 10 over 3. So this is numerator over here, which is 10, and this is denominator over here, which is 3. So what's going to happen? This 10 is greater than 3. It's but obviously it is greater, right? So as the numerator is greater than the denominator, this comes the category of improper fraction, right? Let's do some unique example to identify whether the given thing is proper or improper. If someone gonna write like 3, and they will ask you to find whether it is proper or improper. So you don't get bothered about this. 3 is written as 3 over 1 for sure, isn't it? So here we are having 3 as a numerator and 1 as the denominator. This 3 is greater than 1. And we can understand that the numerator is greater than the denominator. In this case, it is the case of improper fraction, right? So this is how we can identify a proper and improper fraction, and we can define a proper and improper fraction. Let's do one decimal example of improper fraction, like 4.38 is being given to you, right? So how you can identify this? You can write it like 4.38 over 1. And obviously at the top of the fraction, which is in the case of numerator, we see that 4 is the whole number part over here in the decimal number, right? So 4 is obviously greater than this 1. So we can easily say that 4.38 is greater than 1, which is the denominator. It means that it fulfills the criteria of numerator being greater than the denominator. So this comes under the category of improper fraction. So this is about the condition of proper and improper and how to predict a fraction to be proper and improper. And the last slide, let's do some random practice about how to predict fractions based on proper and improper fractions. I'm going to write some fractions over here, and finally we are going to study about whether it is proper and improper. So let me write a first fraction to be 5 over 8, 8 over 5, 9 over 16, 0.38, and like 4.28 and 7 over 12. These are the 6 fractions: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. 6 fractions we have written over here, and we will have to predict whether it is proper or improper. The question is very simple. So let's see here. 5 over 8 is there. So numerator is 5 and 8 is the denominator. So numerator is lesser than denominator. It means it is the case of proper fraction, right? It is proper fraction. Let's come to this one. It's 8 over 5. 8 at the top is numerator and 5 at the bottom is denominator, and here 8 is greater than 5. So this is the case of improper fraction. Very simple. Let's come to this one, 9 over 16. What we are going to see over here, 9 is the numerator and 16 is the denominator. So numerator is lesser than the denominator as per condition over here. So this is the case of proper fraction. Very simple. Let's do simple questions step by step to get a better understanding in front of you. 0.38. So it means 0.38 over 1. And obviously the numerator is 0.38. It is lesser than 1. So this is the category of proper fraction. Very simple to understand, right? Second last question is 4.28. How do you predict 4.28? Just write it like 4.28 over 1, and the above number, which is the numerator, is greater than the denominator, which is 1. So this is the case of improper fraction, right? And last but not the least is 7 over 12. So this means what? Numerator is 7, right? And the denominator is 12. It means what? 7 is lesser than 12. It means this is the case of proper fraction. This is the case of proper fraction. The most important thing to note over here is that, see, if 3 over 4 is a proper fraction, and if I want to reverse it, it will become 4 over 3, right? So see, 3 over 4 is a proper fraction. Then by reversing a proper fraction, we will definitely get what? See, 4 over 3 is there, so 4 over 3 is improper fraction. So this is the whole thing I want to tell you about. So reversing of proper will give you improper, and reversing of improper will give you proper. This is what the most important and story about proper and improper fraction. Reversing, I mean, if you are going to make the reciprocal of proper fraction, you will get improper fraction. And if you will get the reciprocal of improper fraction, the result is going to be the proper fraction. So that's all for now for this video. I hope with a lot of practice also, you can easily identify the proper and improper fraction along with some distinction, along with some exceptions over there, which may come into your mind. So that's all for this video today, right? We will meet for the next video, and we will try to study more thing about the fractions and other properties of the fraction, right? Till then, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe this and to share it with your friends, and don't forget to press the bell icon also, so that all the updates can come to you at the